going on YouTube? The Apophis here, and welcome back to my channel. Today, it's Wednesday, and that's Wednesday's Words of Wisdom. Now, I know. I've missed the last few weeks. I've been kind of swamped with school, and a little bit of other personal things going on in life, and I just haven't been able to keep on top of some of the lesser watch series that I have. But I'm back right now with Wednesday's Words of Wisdom, and I got a topic that was kind of suggested to me a while ago. I thought it was kind of entertaining because I was thinking about doing this topic anyway, and then somebody said, hey, you should do a topic like this, and it wasn't the exact same topic, but it was very similar. So, without further beating of the horse with me going this topic, I wanted to talk about dealing with death, or the loss of a individual, a loved one, a friend, a family member, whatever. And it's not the happiest topic, and it's going to be kind of difficult to talk about and keep it in an entertaining fashion. But I encourage you to stick around, and it's so hard to say that. I encourage you to stick around and hear what I have to say, because it might be beneficial to you. Unfortunately, I have a fair amount of experience in this field. So hang out, and maybe you'll gain some knowledge on maybe ways to ease it up for you. Before we get super into it, though, I want to know in the comments below some of the things that you do if you have to deal with a loss. Like, what are your methods of coping? That would be helpful to me as well as everybody else reading the comments. So please drop those in the comments below. Alright, so dealing with death. The reason why this was even on my mind to do as a topic is around Thanksgiving, an uncle of mine died. As a matter of fact, it was like on Thanksgiving, or like the day before, something like that. It was really close. And it was an uncle that my mother was incredibly close to, incredibly close to. I mean, it was her brother, and but they were really tight brother and sister. So it was one of those things where it really struck her really hard, and it hurt me too. He was the uncle that I've always been his favorite nephew out of them all. He's always done everything he could for me, type thing, and but I handled it way different than she did, and it got me thinking about why I handle things different. And that's not really the point, but it hit her hard, and she turned to me, and it was kind of mind-blowing for me, because here I am, isn't it supposed to be the other way around? Like, the parent counsels the kid, and here I am counseling my mom, and it was weird for me, but at the same time, I started to realize why this happens, and it hasn't been just with this death. Like, my mom lost her mom when I was a child. My mom kind of turned to me, and I thought it was awkward then too. And there's been a couple other deaths, and I've always handled death with the vision that the person that is gone doesn't want me to sit there and cry about it. And this was especially the case with my uncle. My uncle lived like a fucking rock star, like an absolute rock star. Like, if you got the picture, I don't even gotta go into what it is. This absolute rock star, and he died at the age of 50 something, not even 60 years old. And it was pretty much, he died from a heart attack, and it was kind of sad because he was a month or two out from actually getting married and stuff like that. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, my uncle lived like a fucking rock star. That is awesome. And he wouldn't want me to sit here and go wah, cry about it. And I'm not saying that crying's bad, but he wouldn't want me to mope about it and be down about it, because that's not the type of dude he was. And the way I look at it is, if the person had a second chance, this is how I decipher how to mourn. If the person had a second chance, would they make all of the exact same decisions? If the answer is yes, if they would live the exact same way, then I don't feel the need to be sad about the fact that they're gone, because that would lead me to believe that they're not sad that they're gone. They live a certain way for a reason. He did what he did because he enjoyed it. He fucking loved every bit of the life that he had. And I'm sure, given a second chance, he'd have done every damn thing the same. So why should I be upset about the loss? Yes, you can be sad because the person's gone, but I started going, why should I be upset when he would just do it again? He lived the way he wanted to. And I think that's the important thing to really consider, is, did the person live the way they wanted to? a lot of people don't have the opportunity to live the way they want. We try to follow all these rules and stuff, and I'm not saying rules are bad, but a lot of people are held back with their opinions even. And it's like, man, if you live the way you want, you're gonna die just like everybody else, but you're not gonna have any regrets. Not even a single one. And for that, you know, you wouldn't want people to warn you. So dealing with death for me, I seem to be like everybody's rock, man. When somebody dies, and it's not just my mom, it's everybody else that I know too. It's like when somebody dies, they turn to me and they're like, oh my God, I need somebody to talk to. And I found it's because I look at it positively like that. I'm pretty positive that's why everybody turns to me, as I look at it that way. And I have a hard time expressing emotion to begin with. I'm not the type to cry. I'm not the type to talk about my feelings or anything like that. So I think people turn to me because they feel like I'm some huge like pillar of stone, I guess, when it comes to like the emotional side of things. And I wouldn't say that that's exactly true, but it's the image that's portrayed. So I play the part when necessary. And the biggest thing I always tell them is basically what I just said. If they wouldn't want you to mourn, why mourn? And one of the ways that I personally, aside from that, one of the ways that I personally cope, I guess, with death is it's inevitable, man. It's absolutely inevitable. To me, there's no reason to be upset or butthurt about something that you have zero control over. Okay, this is gonna get a little harsh. It's gonna get a little harsh. And if you're sensitive or easily offended, know that I'm not saying what I'm about to say to be an asshole, and I'm not discrediting your own emotions, feelings, or opinions. This is the way I look at things. If somebody murders somebody you know, okay, there's nothing I could have done to prevent that. There's not a damn thing anybody could have done to prevent that. It was gonna happen one way or the other, okay? So I have a hard time being upset about it because I know being upset about it isn't gonna change it. If somebody commits suicide that you know, and that has actually happened to me. When I was a kid, there was this guy that was living with us, and it was a friend of the family, nothing creepy or anything, and we were like super close, man. He's the one that introduced me to like video games and computers and stuff like that, and he ended up shooting himself in the backyard one day when I was at a friend's house, and like he purposely made it a point to do it when I wasn't home, you know, because he was worried about the toll it would take on me, which I found very fascinating, for the simple fact, like, clearly something's wrong if you're gonna take your own life, but yet he still had the emotional connection to not want to do it with a child around. Anyway, like, if somebody commits suicide, I can't fix that. I can't change that. That was a decision they made. So I have a hard time dwelling on it. I have a hard time letting it ruin the decisions that I have to make, letting it ruin my emotional state and stuff like that. You can't control death. And it's inevitable. Like, everybody's gonna die. And I think once you accept death as a part of life, I guess, once you accept death, I think it becomes easier to deal with. I mean, I've seen probably a little more death than I should have. I had a lot of deaths and stuff as a kid. You know, deaths of family members, deaths of friends. I had even more deaths of friends as a young adult, and I've had more deaths of family members as an adult. And it seems like the older you get, the more people die. And that's kind of tough. That's kind of the shitty thing. Like, that's one of the tough things to look at is the older I get, the more people that I know are going to die. Because a lot of us know a lot of people that are older than us. All the friends of the family that you knew growing up, your own parents, teachers, brothers, cousins, you know, stuff like that. Like, those people have a good chance at going before you do. And getting older just means you're one step closer to that. I think the hardest thing when it comes to death for me is knowing that getting older, every year that I get older is one less year I have with my mom, and I think that's kind of tough to swallow, and it's not the happiest thing to say either. But in all honesty, when my mom dies, I'm gonna approach it the same way, man. Like, there was nothing anybody could have done. I'm gonna look at it and go, wow, like, my mom doesn't want me to sit here and bawl my eyes out, so I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna look at it and go, man, my mom was in a lot of pain. My mom currently is in a lot of pain and stuff. She's got a lot of nerve damage and things like that. And So now she's not. That's how I'm gonna look at it. I tried to find the positive of it. Like, I remember when my grandmother died. She was like in a coma for a while and kept like season in and out of a coma and stuff like that. And then she finally went, and I was just like, God damn, thank God. Like, that was vicious to watch, and I couldn't imagine being in that state. So it's kind of a relief to me. So I guess I really didn't cover so much how to deal with that, but I just kind of talked about the ways that I deal with it and kind of make it easier for me. Hopefully you got a little bit out of this. Hopefully it made a little bit of sense and maybe touched home a little bit, and maybe it'll help you in the future. Alright guys, there's 2 videos on the screen that you might have missed. Click them please. They open in a new window. If you're not subscribed to me, go ahead and feel free to hit that subscribe button. If you want to know what I'm doing, what I'm working on, what games I'm playing, if you want to stop by to say hi, shoot me a tweet. I'll tweet you back. If I see it, man, if I see it. Sometimes tweets don't come through, or I don't know. I wait for them to push to my phone. I honestly don't sit on Twitter. I wait for them to push to my phone, and then I respond to them, and I don't always get them all. So I apologize if I haven't responded to a recent tweet that you've sent me. I didn't do it on purpose. I'm not trying to be an asshole. Alright, yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, if you want to be on Wednesday's Words of Wisdom, send me a message to my YouTube inbox, title it, subject, Wednesday's Words of Wisdom, and then write me something. You need advice? Hey, I got you. You want, me to talk about a tough topic like this? Send that too. I'll cover it, and that's kind of how it works. So thank you all so much for stopping by. It really, truly means a lot to me. This video is running long, so we're going to close it out right here. I really appreciate all the support, guys. Thanks for still sticking around, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. And I usually end this on some funny shit, but I don't think it's fitting. So catch you next time.